Hey, y'all, it's going to be a good day here at the SLB Basement Bourbon Bar because Trenton just brought down the 2024 Maker's Mark Cellar Aged. I will tell you, I don't know what it is, but just here recently, I have been pulling some Maker's Mark just in casual sips.
Uh-huh.
Last night, I had a little bit of the DNA that you got for me.
Dude, that DNA is really good.
The DNA slaps.
Yeah, it does.
It slaps.
Yeah. It's really good. I wish they would come out with those again. But I'm excited about this one. I honestly didn't even know that they were coming out with one this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been hearing about it. I've been hearing some rumblings. This one here, Trenton, is 12 and 13 years old.
What was it last year's 10 and 11? I think it was 10 and 11. I might be wrong. Or 11 or 12?
11 or 12, maybe?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Harry gave Trenton this handy-dandy little pamphlet, and it'd take too much time to go through a lot of it, but just a couple of the highlights. It basically shows you and tells you everything from distillation to where it was stored in the cellar.
That's cool.
Mash bill, 70% corn, 16% soft red winter wheat, 14% malted barley.
All right.
Pretty cool. There is 13-year-old barrels. 85% of this blend is 13-year-old barrels.
That's neat.
15% of the blend is 12-year-old barrels. I like that when you get the percentage of what the blend
that's nice.
is.
That is nice.
A lot of Jim Beam stuff, it'll, and others too. I'm just, that just came to my mind. I'm not picking on them, but a lot of them will list what's in there, but it won't tell you what the ratios are for the blend.
Yeah, I like that. Good job.
Barrel does a good job with that too.
They do. Yeah, I do like what Barrel does that. Bardstown also.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we have it sitting down here, and as you were reading your fancy pamphlet there, it's just like emanating this beautiful aroma. Wow.
I absolutely loved this release last year, and it did pretty well on some blinds and different things that we did with it. But
it made it in the top 5 allocated, I believe.
Oh, sure.
I think it was first. First or second.
It might have been. I can't remember either.
There were a lot of people that disagreed with that one, which I thought was kind of interesting. I loved it. I thought it was really good.
I did too. And, it wasn't just my decision solely. All of our top 5s of the year are
our expert tasting panel.
Yeah, yes, quite
a
decent number
decisions.
of folks on that tasting panel that all have pretty good palates. So we have a scoring system, and we'll get into that at the end of the year. But the end of the year is coming up before you know it.
I'm excited. I get to use my snowplow that I bought. Man, you should see me tooting down the driveway with that thing. I'm taking up my grass. I'm running into stuff. It's not good, but
okay.
That is incredible.
Yeah,
amount of smelling. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Trenton, and I think I might even said this last year, but it's just overwhelming rickhouse aromas.
Yeah.
If you've ever been on a tour at a good distillery and you're able to get into a rickhouse, that angel share smell, all the smell that's enveloped inside that rickhouse I get a lot of that, but sweeter.
Yeah.
On a sweet level.
It's got this really, I can't tell if it's a toffee, if it's a butterscotch, if it's some kind of sweetness that's not like, I struggle to pick up caramel too. I don't really know what caramel smells like.
I wouldn't really put this as caramel. I would slide it in as slight butterscotch, to tell you the truth.
It's like it's like a toasty butterscotch a little bit. Like you might have sauteed a little too much butterscotch sauce in your saucepan or something. It's really nice.
Maybe like a tiny bit of, like, if you go into an antique store.
Ooh, yeah.
Antique furniture type smell to it, like an antique smell.
You smell the furniture at an antique store?
No, I don't.
I do.
I know. I kind of
smell the seats.
Pulled something out of your bag there, didn't I?
You did.
It's kind of like an antique store.
Yeah, an antique.
So that age that you're getting in the glass.
Antique store, but not quite like a dusty whiskey, right?
No. I'm not getting dusty. Like, I would relate that to damp basements and leather shoes and books and things like that. But
I get maybe a little vanilla in there. Well, maybe. I don't know. I'm struggling with this one outside the sweetness. There's something in there that's vaguely vanilla-y, or like it just took me back to like a nice Breyers vanilla ice cream with a little the vanilla specks in it. It's the best one.
Mm-hmm. But that is the best one. For
sure. It's pretty barrely, but in a really, really nice way.
Wonderful way.
Next time you're in a rick house, and I'm not saying just do this if you're with like a tour guide at somewhere and you're walking through a rick house and you see some barrels and it has like the liquid that had come out of it and kind of oxidized
seepage.
The barrel seepage. Smell it. See if you can smell it, because it really smells like exactly what I'm getting. I have a barrel in my barn from Buffalo Trace, and it's just like half of it's just covered in it, and it smells exactly.
Next time I'm over, I gotta go smell it.
Yeah, it's delicious.
All right, see what we
Full
got.
send. I'm gonna let you go with this one first.
Wow. 119.3 proof. We didn't say that.
That explains it a little bit.
Yep.
I was like, man, it's really kind of hit me
First
in the
sip.
sternum.
That's first sip for us too. So, but wow, that's my first notes. Wow.
It's so syrupy. Really rich. Like, it's very fruity, syrupy. Man.
Definitely some dark cherry in there going
Yeah.
on. I didn't really pick up that on the aromas at all. Syrupy is outstanding. The viscosity is next level. It seems to me like it's got a nice oily mouthfeel to it.
I get this, like, it's at the tail end. Not quite cinnamon, not quite an allspice, but there's like a baking spice kind of a note in it. A little bit. But this one is really, this reminds me a lot of like a wild turkey, like an older wild turkey, where it's not like this super dynamic thing. It has like, maybe, at least from what I can pick up, and I mean, I am an expert, so I pick up maybe 2 or 3 different things from this, and I need to sit down with this one a little bit more. I like it.
No question about it. This is a fantastic bourbon to sit down with.
Yeah, but it's really kind of reminding me of how Wild Turkey, when they do a really good bourbon, like with the Russell's 15, you don't pick up a ton of dynamic flavors. It's just like tried and true Wild Turkey. This is like tried and true Maker's Mark.
It's kind of like when you're cooking, and you have your favorite dish that you make, whatever it is, and you all know what I'm talking about. It only has 2 or 3 ingredients or something like that, but when you build the flavors in your pan or whatever the case may be, and you just love it when it's done, just because it's good, it's hearty.
Yeah.
It's kind of that's kind of how this is here. It's just fantastic.
I can't remember how this stacks up to last year's. Do you have last year's in sight?
No, I think it's in the other room over there. Everything's tore up down here, so
Yeah.
I think it's on that first shelf on the right when you come in that door.
Should we do a side by side?
Sure. If you'd like to. I've just been loving a lot of their stuff. And even getting back into the 46 cask strength.
That's
has been
great
fantastic. And even the Maker's Mark cask strength at $40-something is very good. Maker's Mark 101. I'm just
Also
rattling
very
it
good.
off.
All the Maker's Marks.
I mean, I'm just rattling, and even their core release, just their bourbon release, is pretty darn good for $20-something, $28 or whatever it is.
This is a blend of 11 and 12 year, 87% 12
it
year, 13% 11 year, and this is 115.7 proof.
Okay, interesting.
From my memory, I think I like this one a little bit more, just from my memory, and I haven't. The last time I had this was probably when we did the allocated video last year, so it could have opened up a lot more differently than I
I'm
remember.
already
halfway through her.
Bad boy. Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's kind of you can tell this one's older. It's got a little bit like this really nice maturity kind of a thing to it.
I like that one, Trent. I'm going to tell you something right now. I like the new one better. I love the black cherry note in there. I think that it's a little bit more syrupy on the sweetness for me. I love this one, but sweetness is a little bit elevated for me.
Yeah, I like this one better. I think this one, just comparatively, you can tell that it's just a tad younger. If maybe not pulling that out, it's like this is just so much more up front with the barrel-y type notes and the oak and the like something about it just seems more mature. And I mean it is, but I mean I like them both. I wouldn't be mad about either one.
No. I like them both too, but I'm
That's your vote.
Yeah. How much was this now this year?
I was just gonna say it's up a little bit from last year. Ooh. Surprise, surprise. I think this was $139 or $149.99. This was $179.
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, that's quite a bit.
$169, $169 or $179.99. So like a $20 to $40 price increase, which sucks. But I mean, I like it. I honestly can't say that. Actually, I'm lying. If I saw one of these again for under $200, I'd buy it. It's really solid.
It's super good. Excuse me. I was pretty excited last year when this was in that $140 range. Because let's put it in perspective. You can go get a Discovery Series from Bardstown, which is usually very good as well.
Yeah.
For close to those similar price point. So I thought this was a great buy.
Yeah.
Now you're getting up there, you're about $40 more. I still think it's worth it. I think it's great. I love it. But it just gives me that,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm going to drop a little bit of a hot take here, though. For me, this would not place top 5 for me this year so far. There's still a lot coming out. We have 6 bottles that we need to do a review on here in the next couple days. We got the 2 Bookers, we got the Remus, we got the Birthday Bourbon, and tons of other stuff.
You guys, there's so much stuff coming out right now, which is
fun.
Fun.
It's that
fun.
time of year, which is cool.
It's fall.
But I don't know about you. I would not put this in my top 5.
We'll see.
Yeah,
you're only one in the tasting pad.
I know, and I mean last year I was a little bit. I mean I'm usually out there, so that's not too surprising. But I ended up not voting the. I wasn't too thrilled that the Buckner's 15 made or 13 made it in there.
13,
and it did.
Yeah.
But I mean that's what happens. That's what happens when you're voted 4-1 on what's making it.
But that's why we do it that way too.
Yeah.
Get everybody's perspective. But I don't know. I tend to think it might get in there for the allocated category, but there's some bangers this year.
I think what needs to happen, and we only do this once a year, so I can't remember. We need to stack all the bottles up that we're going to put in there, and Mom needs to have us blind it instead. That way we don't know what's what. Because usually we'll set all the bottles out and we'll go through them, and we do have a lengthy discussion about what makes it in, what doesn't. But I think this year we should just blind them all. We got me, Kurt, Kent, Justin, and Michelle. I
think you might get some pretty...
It would be interesting.
Pretty loud conversations.
Oh, yeah.
For the 4th, 5th, 6th, does this get in, does it not?
Yeah. It'd be cool, though.
That'd be wild.
But, I mean, overall, in my opinion, very, very solid bottle for makers. I'll say it again. I think that it's got some real competition this year for making it in one of the best ones, but it's very good nonetheless.
Yep.
And thank you to Harry for allowing us to purchase this bottle.
Thank you, Harry.
For MSRP. So.
Yeah, and for me, I loved it. I'm a little bit sad that it went up $40. I got to admit that, but I loved it.
This or Russell's 15?
Oh my God, Russell's 15 buries that.
Yeah. See? I think
you're talking from 1st to 5th place, what I mean, or whatever. Who knows if that's going to get 1st place? I'm just saying.
I don't like to trash on Russell's just because it's Russell's or just because it's Wild Turkey, but that Russell's 15 was dang good.
It was dynamite. Really it really, really was. So I'm not saying that just because it's Russell's and Wild Turkey either.
No,
I'm really not.
It's really good.
With you. I love this though.
Yeah.
I've loved here, especially this year. I've really gotten into this Maker's Mark stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll blame my brother.
Yeah, blame Ken.
He is the Maker's Mark fanboy.
Yeah, blame
That's
Ken.
for sure. All right, guys, that's all we have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, we ask you to please drink responsibly, and we'll see you next time right down here with Trent and me in the good old basement bourbon bar. See you later.